Imagine if I told you that the first moments after you open your eyes can influence not only your day, but the next years of your life. It may sound like an exaggeration. After all, waking up is something automatic. You open your eyes, sit on the bed, get up, go to the bathroom. You have been doing this for decades. It has always been this way. So why would it change now? Because after 65, the body no longer reacts the same way. It needs transition. It needs a signal. It needs sequence. Many people believe that dizziness when getting up, that heavy-headed feeling, knees stiff as wood, or a slow mind early in the morning are just things of age. But most of the time, that is not age. It is a lack of proper activation. The problem is that almost no one teaches this. While you listen to these words, there are people your age waking up and getting up too fast, forcing their blood pressure to drop, overloading the heart, confusing the brain. Small impacts that seem insignificant, but that accumulate every day, like silent drops wearing down a stone. And here is the most important point. It is not about doing more things in the morning. It is not about the gym, expensive supplements, or impossible routines. It is about doing things in the right order. There is a simple sequence, composed of 8 steps, that helps the body leave the resting state safely, activates the joints, awakens the brain, and adjusts the internal rhythm even before coffee touches your lips. The first 4 steps take care of the physical base: balance, circulation, stability, and protection against falls. They are the ones that prevent invisible wear. The next 4 go further. They awaken the brain, regulate mood, strengthen memory, and reinforce something that many people feel is slipping away over time: the sense of control. Before continuing, I want to ask you a simple question. When you wake up, what is the first sensation your body gives you? Stability or insecurity? Because the way you respond to these first minutes can determine how the rest of your day, and everything begins while you are still in bed. The first change begins even before you put your feet on the floor. When the eyes open, the body is still in another rhythm. During sleep, blood pressure drops, breathing slows down, the heart works differently. Getting up abruptly is like starting an old car and driving off accelerating without warming up the engine. It may even work, but it charges a price. Many people over 65 have already felt that slight darkness in their vision when sitting up too fast. Sometimes it is just a second. Other times, it is necessary to hold on to the wall. This happens because the blood has not yet risen strongly enough to the brain. And each of these episodes, even if it seems small, is a warning. The solution is simple, but powerful. Upon waking, remain lying down for a few moments. Slowly move your fingers, then your toes. Stretch your arms above your head gently. Take a deep breath 2 or 3 times. This small ritual sends a clear message to the nervous system. We are coming back. Then turn onto your side calmly. Support your arm on the mattress and only then sit up. Wait a few more seconds before standing. It may seem like a detail, but it is in this detail that the difference between stability and risk lies. When this transition becomes a habit, the morning stops beginning with a scare. The body responds more firmly. The head feels clearer, and the fear of falling begins to decrease. As soon as you stand up, comes the second point that almost no one considers important. What happens inside the mouth? During the night, saliva decreases. The mouth becomes drier. Bacteria naturally accumulate. It is not something frightening, it is biology. But swallowing water, coffee, or any food before doing basic cleaning means taking all of that straight into the body in the very first minute of the day. As the years go by, the body becomes more sensitive to silent inflammation. Small imbalances that were once easily compensated begin to have more impact. Therefore, dedicating a few minutes to proper hygiene early in the morning is more than aesthetics. It is systemic care. Start by rinsing your mouth or gently swishing with vegetable oil if you prefer. Then, use a tongue scraper or brush your tongue gently. Only then brush your teeth normally. This process helps reduce the accumulated load from the night and prepares the body to receive whatever comes next. It is curious how something so simple can generate an immediate feeling of lightness. The mouth feels clean, breath improves, and even digestion tends to be grateful. The third step is one of the most ignored: delaying coffee for a few minutes and activating the body first. Many people wake up and go straight to the coffee maker. The smell of coffee has become synonymous with starting the day, but the body already produces a natural hormone to wake up. When we add caffeine too early, we can disrupt this process and create peaks, followed by energy drops later. Before the first cup, try moving your joints. Sit on the bed and make slow circles with your ankles. Then, move your knees carefully. Standing up, make small circles with your hips. Lift and rotate your shoulders. Gently tilt your head to the sides. It is not exercise, it is lubrication. During the night, the joints become stiffer because the fluid that protects them distributes differently. These gentle movements help spread this internal natural oil again. The result is fewer cracks, less feeling of stiffness, and more fluidity when walking. When you finally have your coffee, about half an hour later, it acts as support, not as a crutch. The fourth step closes this first phase of physical protection and may be the most underestimated: the connection with the feet. Over time, balance becomes one of the greatest fears. It is not just about falling. It is about losing confidence when walking. It is about reducing your pace due to insecurity. The feet are the base of the body. In them, there are thousands of nerve endings that inform the brain where you are, how you are stepping, how you are distributing your weight. When you spend a few minutes barefoot on a firm surface, this information begins to circulate more clearly again. Stand still for a few moments. Feel the contact with the floor. Shift your body weight from your heels to the balls of your feet, then from one side to the other. Breathe calmly while doing this. It may seem too simple to have an effect, but it is in this simple gesture that you reignite the dialogue between feet, brain, and posture. Gradually, the feeling of firmness increases. These first 4 steps do not promise miracles. They do something more important. They reduce the invisible wear that repeats every morning. They protect your stability, reduce overload, awaken your joints, and reorganize your body axis before the day truly begins. But all of this is still only half of what truly transforms the way you age. Because after the body is protected, it is time to awaken the brain in the right way. After the body wakes up safely, it is the brain that needs to take command. And it wakes up dehydrated. During the night, you lose fluids through breathing and perspiration, even without realizing it. It may not seem like much, but enough to make the blood a little thicker and the mind slightly slower in the first hours of the day. Many people interpret this as, "I am becoming forgetful," or "my head is not the same anymore." But often it is just a lack of water at the right time. Before coffee, before any heavy meal, offer your body a glass of room temperature water. If you wish, add a few drops of lemon or a small pinch of natural salt to help replenish minerals. Drink slowly, not as an obligation, but as someone who is rehydrating each cell. Within a few minutes, something changes. The mind clears. Vision seems more stable. Even the willingness to move improves. It is as if the brain says, "Now yes, I can begin." With the body hydrated comes the step that almost no one does correctly: stimulating the mind actively. Many start the day by looking at their phone, news, messages, social media. This seems like mental activity, but it is passive consumption. The information comes ready. The brain only reacts. After 65, what maintains agility is not receiving stimulus. It is producing stimulus. Dedicate 3 to 5 minutes to a small challenge. It can be remembering the names of old school classmates. It can be reciting a poem you know. It can be doing a simple crossword puzzle or reading a short passage out loud. Reading out loud is especially powerful. When you do this, you activate regions of speech, hearing, and memory at the same time. It is a complete workout, without seeming like a workout. At first it may seem strange, but over time you begin to notice something subtle. You find words more easily, remember appointments with less effort, feel your mind quicker in conversations. The brain likes to be challenged early. It responds when it is called to work. Now that body and mind are already in motion, there is one element that completes this internal adjustment: light. Our body functions like an internal clock, and this clock needs a clear signal to know that the day has begun. The strongest signal is natural light. Opening the window and simply letting the brightness in already helps. But staying a few minutes in front of it, breathing consciously, enhances the effect. Go to a window or outside area. Look at the sky without staring directly at the sun. Inhale through your nose, slowly counting to 4. Hold for a few seconds. Release the air through your mouth in a prolonged way. Repeat a few times. This combination of light and breathing sends the body the message that it is time to activate energy, regulate hormones, and stabilize mood. Many people report that by doing this for a few consecutive days, they feel less irritation, less sadness in the morning, and more willingness to begin tasks. It is a silent adjustment, but deep. And then we arrive at the last step, which may seem the simplest of all, but carries enormous strength. The first sentence you say to yourself upon waking shapes the tone of the day. After 65, it is common for automatic thoughts to arise early in the morning. I am slower. My body hurts. I do not have the same energy. Repeated daily, these thoughts become commands. Try replacing this with a clear and intentional sentence, something true and constructive. It can be, "Today I will move with firmness," or "I still have a lot to live and enjoy," or any sentence that makes sense to you. Say it out loud. When you verbalize, you activate areas of the brain responsible for planning and decision-making. It is not a loose thought. It is direction. Over time, this small practice creates something precious, a sense of daily purpose, and purpose is directly linked to vitality. People who wake up with a clear reason to act tend to move more, take better care of themselves, and face challenges with more resilience. Notice the complete sequence. You wake up calmly. Protect your blood pressure and your balance. Clean what needs to be cleaned. Lubricate your joints. Reactivate your feet and posture. Hydrate your brain. Challenge your mind. Synchronize with the light. And finally, consciously choose how you want to live that day. These are not isolated actions. It is a chain. When done in the right order, they stop being just habits and become a system of daily renewal. And this is what many people do not realize. Longevity is not built on occasional big decisions. It is born in small gestures repeated every morning. Aging is not losing strength. It is changing the way you take care of it. After 65, the body speaks more softly but more often. It does not shout all at once. It sends small signals: a slight dizziness when standing up, an insecurity when walking, a word that takes time to come, energy that fluctuates. And almost always we think, it is age. But often it is not age. It is the wrong sequence. It is starting the day on autopilot, repeating habits that worked at 40, but that now require adjustment. What you saw here is not a miraculous formula. It does not require a gym. It does not depend on new medicine. It does not ask for anything impossible. They are just 8 simple steps organized in the order that your body understands. First, you protect your stability. Then, you activate your joints. Next, you wake up your brain with intention. And finally, you align light, breathing, and purpose. This does not change only the morning. It changes the way you go through the day. When you start with balance, you tend to move more. When you move more, you maintain autonomy. When you maintain autonomy, you preserve confidence. And confidence is one of the greatest riches after 65. Think about it. How many times have you gotten up too fast, had coffee on impulse, started walking while still half confused, and only really woke up hours later? Now imagine reversing that. Imagine getting out of bed already stable, walking with firmness, feeling your mind clear even before the first conversation of the day, feeling that you are in command, and not just reacting to the clock. This is how healthy longevity is built. Not on grand promises, but on repeated decisions. Maybe you will not do the 8 steps tomorrow, and that is fine. But choose one. Start with it. Then add another. In a few days, this sequence stops being effort and becomes part of who you are. And a few years from now, when someone asks what change most impacted your quality of life, you may remember these first minutes of the morning. Now I want to know from you, which of these steps do you feel you most need to adjust? And which will you try at your next awakening? Because the day begins early, but the decision begins now.